Okay, we're recording.
How you doing, everybody? This is Dennis Michelson. Welcome to the Matchup Lab here on the Sports Affiliation. Joining me as he does each and every week because he's the man that brings the data to the Matchup Lab. It's Professor John Bush. And John, week 4 coming up, and I have been very impressed with using the power rankings to decide my fantasy football starts, and my win loss is much better than it usually is in picking winners in the NFL.
Well, that's good. I'm doing pretty good in picking myself in our TSA pick'em. So I'm pleased so far. I'm glad I shared the power rankings with our TSA family, and so far nobody's either using it or whatever, because I'm leading the field here, so I'm proud of that for right now. Until I'm not leading, right? I'm proud until it's not right, and then I'm angry. Okay, just like everybody else on, you know, if I'm wrong, right, I'm happy. If not, it's somebody else's damn fault, right? It's the team's fault.
Or it's
They
bad
didn't.
luck.
Yes, bad luck, bad luck.
Or it's the
And when I
kickoff
pick, it's the
kickoff
skill.
rules.
Yeah, but if I pick right, it's my skills.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, perfect skills. Okay, so power rankings this week: Philly number one, New Orleans. I'm so sad. Is
No.
worst, and Tennessee. Tennessee and New Orleans are fighting for that first pick here.
Oof.
I don't know. Cleveland's right there as well. So the Chargers look good, and Detroit. So those three stand out, Dennis. Look, they tower above the league, and the Tennessee, New Orleans tower on the opposite side to being
Oof.
the suckiest. So that's what we've got right now. And Vegas does not respect New Orleans at all, about minus 15 or 16 spread versus Buffalo. And it's very
Oof.
sad, very, very sad here.
Very sad. And let me remind you of how I use these power rankings in a general sense in fantasy football. If the teams are in the green, so the top 6, 7 teams in the green, especially those really green teams at the top of the list, I'm starting as many fantasy football players from those teams as possible in my lineups. As we get to the other end of the spectrum, the red, I'm maybe starting one per team. You just don't want to invest a lot of your starting spots with teams in the red and expect to do great in fantasy football. And as far as matchups, go if I've got a team at either end of the extremes, that's a slam dunk pick. The more it is in the muddy middle between the two teams, the closer they are in power rankings, the more it's a head scratcher when it comes to finding the matchup. So let's take a look at what Vegas is saying this week as we decide on our squirrel games. Those are the annoying low scoring games. And when we find our husky games, those are the big, beautiful games with lots of scoring. Let's take a look at those squirrely games. Get that out of our system before we talk about the big, beautiful games where we want to have a lot of starters. So let's look at the squirreliest of the squirrels, Houston and Tennessee.
39 and a half. I don't know the latest, but this is what Vegas had: 7 points, 39 and a half. Houston 26, Tennessee 12. So Vegas does not respect Tennessee at all.
Wow.
Like I said, New Orleans is the only team worse than Tennessee. But what's interesting is Vegas disrespects Saints twice as bad as Tennessee, but my power rankings had them tied. So either Vegas is wrong about New Orleans or they're wrong about Tennessee, I think. If something's not jiving there, but I'm not worried about racing to the bottom, Dennis. I'm sad for both. If I'm a Tennessee fan, I'm sad, but New Orleans, I've got my jacket on, but even that's not, not going to get it this week against Buffalo. It's sad. Uh, Houston as at home, so they're home favorite. I said -7. The defense against position against Tennessee. Overall, Tennessee is above average, easy. Not the easiest easy, but boy, look at Woody Marks getting an easy setup here, Dennis. That running back Dap says Woody Marks should be in your view for a flex start if you don't have anybody else, especially if you have a team that needs help this week losing Connor. This may be a interesting start. I may start him in a few. I don't know yet. Depends on who. I doubt Woody is, so high on my list in drafts that I've got to start him, but I think I have a choice between him and some of the other RBs or even WRs or tight ends for that last flex slot. He might be worth a secret play there. Stroud, though, has so they're tough on the quarterback, but easier on the tight end. Schultz, that gets me interested. I do have some Schultz. I probably will be playing because Kittle's on IR. Wide receivers, there's Nico Collins. Streaming both defenses is possible, so don't worry about that. Tennessee is an away. Tennessee says Pollard may have an opportunity, but they're probably going to need some passing. And Chiggy might have so there's your in-game parlay. Schultz, Chiggy catches, or I don't know if it's a touchdown. I don't know if we need to be that aggressive, but there may be some yardage props or something you might be able to parlay within this game. It looks like both tight ends have. And Chiggy's not bad, and Schultz is not bad. They've done okay, when things are good. The kickers, not much, especially Tennessee's kicker, what row. Houston has been one of the worst teams for efficiency first 3 weeks. 8. That's not good out of 100, Dennis. That's extra sucky. Houston loves home, Dennis. 110% better.
Wow.
Again, we only have 3 weeks, so don't get cranky, but I'm pushing the data here, Dennis. So that's not real. The best I see is, about 40%. If you got a 1.4, that's after about 6 weeks, then you probably got something. But anyways, 2.1, that says Houston loves what they're given. And the Woody Marks and Nico looks all good for Houston. So I think Vegas sees that. But look at the passing and rush attempts at home, Dennis. They are sucky versus league average. So 1 is league average. So they're 17 and 26% is dealing out rushing and pass. It's like they're not doing anything, Dennis. That's what's bad about this. So maybe Tennessee gets lucky and gets this. Don't think Tennessee's going to win, but I don't know about that spread there. Tennessee may give them a run for their money a little bit because that's just sucky. I don't think Houston is probably that bad, but I'm not sure they're that good to be that favored. So Tennessee, 66. So that's not bad. It's above average, getting close to, about the 30th percentile. That's pretty good, actually. And they hate home, Dennis. They love away at 13%. So Houston loves the home, Tennessee loves the away, but look at Tennessee away, minus 17, minus 27. So this would say they are sucky and nobody's scoring anything. Look at the attempts. The predictions would say everything is down. Nobody's doing nothing. So that means if one or other could score a touchdown or two, that may be enough to win this game, Dennis.
Yeah, the only bet I really like in this game is the under. I This game is so low scoring potentially that I have traded in my Fairburn kicker in every league where I've had him. I'm getting rid of him this week and shopping for a better scoring team because I do think both of these teams will have a hard time getting to 20 points. So I like the under a lot in this. The line has not moved at all. Still saying a -7. I'm with you. I think this is a field goal game. So I like Houston to win. I would take Tennessee in the +7, but this is a race to the bottom
Yep.
where I don't really know if I'd be playing a lot of players here. Now, thankfully, I did not load up on a lot of Houston players. Have a little bit of Nico Collins. I've got a little bit of Chubb, a little bit of Marks, but that's about it. I was not investing in CJ Stroud except in Dynasty, and I don't have a lot on the Tennessee side of things either. A little bit of Pollard, a little bit of Ayomanor, the rookie Tennessee wide receiver, but he is just a last flex play or sitting on the bench waiting for him to mature a bit. But that's kind of how I see this game. Not a game where you want to be loading up on fantasy players.
Gotcha. I agree. And we can move on. You want the other squirrel game?
Yeah, let's go to the other
Minnesota,
squirrel game
Pittsburgh?
that is not only a squirrel game, but our first European
Yeah.
game. And we
Dennis,
know how we don't like those
I
games.
don't like that at all. I don't know if I can believe any of this data, but anyway, they're gonna be out at them pubs drinking their Guinness, and that's their Guinness drinking is going to get us in our fantasy football, Dennis. That there's my bad pun of the day here. We'll be drinking after watching this. This could be a horror show or not. I don't know. Aaron Rodgers, think Papaw's got enough energy to fly on a plane and bounce back? Come on, man. You think he better hit that Geritol? He needs a half and half, Dennis. They have a drink called Black and Tan that they put half Guinness and half some other thing, and it looks kind of brown and black, so they call it Black and Tan or something like that. I've had it one time, and I think it needs to be half Guinness, half Geritol for Aaron Rodgers. I know I'm sad, but he doesn't know me, and he's not paying attention, so I can sit in the peanut gallery. And I have no skills in football, and it's in the fine tradition of X. We all know better than the coaches and the players, and that fine tradition I can crack on Aaron Rodgers, right? In the fine tradition. Minnesota 23, Pittsburgh 18, 2.5. I don't know why Vegas is picking Minnesota. Minnesota, I don't know. A 41 doesn't sound good, but I think the DAPs say why Vegas loves Minnesota. Minnesota is easy. Play them all day. I think the dude's coming off suspension. I'm probably playing a few of him. I forgot his name. You know his
Addison.
name. Yeah, playing
Addison.
him.
Yep.
Be careful the kicker, but both defenses should feast, Pittsburgh especially. So I think there's a lot of goodness, but Pittsburgh, they better have their run shoes on, Dennis. That's the only thing. Aaron Rodgers is in for a rough day. He better have those shots of extra geritol or something else. So something, right? He needs to, they used to say there was a trainer down at Gulfstream. I know I told you the story, and he won like 20 in a row, and everybody was investigating him, and they finally got the stable boy, and he said, "Well, how's your horse run so fast? What you giving him?" He says, "They take that cayenne pepper, and run on, put the horse on the behind of the horse, and he run quick." And so I think they better get some of that cayenne pepper from down South Louisiana and sprinkle on halftime Rogers and get him, get ants in his pants and fire him up. Dennis, I guarantee you, he gonna be jumping. He gonna be like, man, this guy's found a fountain of youth. No, that's that cayenne pepper in his britches done got him going. So, Dennis, I shouldn't be cracking so much. This is not a comedy routine. Play the kicker, play the D all day long. They are both been really efficient. They're both away, and so away, Minnesota is not really, they can do either one, but Pittsburgh loves away. So Pittsburgh, even though the Daps are tough, they love away by 43% better. So this could be closer and people think, but 2.5 is saying it's close. And like I said, look, if you see Rogers come out and they sprinkle something, that ain't talcum powder, folks. Just telling you. And away, they rush more and pass less, and that's the Daps are saying that. So I think it may be a defensive rushing kind of thing, but I think Minnesota might have an opportunity to pass, and that's why I think they're. I think that's why Vegas likes them. At the end of the day, they're more adaptable to the Daps than Pittsburgh. Looks like kind of play your running back here, and I guess it's Jalen Warren. Is he questionable this week? Or?
He's questionable, but he made the trip, so I'd
Okay,
expect him to play.
so he should have a game. And Minnesota, Mason should have a game. Jefferson should be there. I think that's the key. And Hawkinson kind of woke up. It looks to me, I've got a RB2, WR1, and a tight end 2 type, even with Wentz. And I think Hawkinson could benefit from Wentz, checking down. So I'm kind of liking this slate of players, but here in Metcalf, I would hate to, if I'm Rogers, I mean, I like DK. I drafted him. I didn't draft him this year, but I don't know. Jonnu, I'm thinking if Warren doesn't have a game, Pittsburgh loses. That's how I see it. So if you think Warren has his game and he's coming in wounded, I don't know. I think Vegas is watching this, but I'm not happy them playing on foreign soil.
Yeah, that complicates things because we never know how well these teams are going to travel. Now, Minnesota next week, they're spending their whole week between games over in Europe because they've got another European game next
What?
Sunday morning. Yeah, so they're playing 2 in a row, just like Jacksonville did last year. So
that sucks.
yeah, it's going to be. I hate these games. It's so much more difficult trying to anticipate setting lineups twice on Sunday to get the questionable guys out. I like Minnesota to win this one, and I think it's going to be over mainly because I think Minnesota is going to score more. I think Pittsburgh will be right around that 18 or 20, but I'm looking for Minnesota to be in the upper 20s. So I like the over and I like Minnesota in this one. You're starting all your Minnesota guys. Pittsburgh, I don't have too much to start other than Jalen Warren. And if he's a go, I'll have him in the starting lineup. All right, let's go to the Husky games. These are the games where we're expecting a little bit more scoring. Let's look at Baltimore and Kansas City.
Kansas City is still in the league? I thought they'd already pulled them, and they're so bad, right? Hadn't X already buried them?
Yeah,
The
they're so
Holmes and
far out.
everybody's
It's
been
yeah,
buried, right?
they're dead. They're
Yeah,
dead. The dynasty's over. Put
it's
some
all done, Dennis. They
sprinkle
gonna
the dirt over them. It's all over.
Dennis. They called me up and asked, would the Saints like a couple square feet more to take from the Kansas City wing because of the season? So I told him yes. Expand the broom closet. It's a start, Dennis. It's a start. So they're at the Pro Football Hall. They're starting to take some of those artifacts and starting to hide them now. So Taylor Swift's heel collection or whatever, the Good Luck heels, I think they starting to store them, Dennis. So I don't know. Not good. But anyway, Vegas thinks Baltimore whips Kansas City 2.5 points, 48, lots of good points, 26, 21. Baltimore is a away favorite. KC has been tough except for running. Look at that, Dennis. Looks like see what I got. Henry 77. He's been a little rough lately, so it's an RB2, and I know he's got the back class, so but definitely not setting him on the bench. But it looks like it goes to Jackson, his running, and Henry. That's the way I see the Daps. KC at home, play them all, Dennis. Even Kelsey should do something. Play the kicker. Wouldn't stream the D's though. Baltimore's been the best, 112 out of 100. They've just been insane. Kansas City below average, Dennis, 44. That's sad. 45. That's sad. Baltimore at home loves it, but they're away. 34% less. There's
Wow.
your hope, Dennis. Away, they like to run 31% more, 50% less passing. So the DAPs are giving them what they like in away games. So I don't know if Baltimore, I don't know. I think it opens the door for Kansas City, Dennis. I'm I'm gonna probably still pick Baltimore, but I'm not confident on this pick 'em here. Kansas City loves home, but not really. 14% worse at home, Dennis. But at home, they love to run. Where's Pacheco? They better get somebody. They, you know what? They need to, from Ireland, they need to FedEx that cayenne pepper and put in Pacheco's britches and get him rolling. They need him with that extra easy dap. So if you see something happening and Pacheco's high stepping, he's got that cayenne pepper working on him. I'm gonna call Andy and my weekly meeting with him. I'm gonna tip him to that Saints secret. That's the sauce. Drew Brees started it all. Putting that hot pepper and everything on the ball. So if the defense caught it, they'd lick their hands and they'd have a burning hand, so they wouldn't catch him anymore. See, that shut down those interceptions right there. So you spike the ball as well as you get the britches going. So that's how I see this. I'm not confident in Baltimore at all, Dennis.
No, and I like Kansas City here. I know that comes as no surprise
Well, I
to
think
folks.
everything is open for Kansas City to surprise people.
Yeah, and I like the over here. I know Lamar's going up against a tough defense in the Chiefs, but he'll find a way. He'll run his way to his fantasy points. I don't like Andrews in this game, though. After he had his bounce back, I think he's back to being kind of average, and I'm not sure what to do with the wide receivers, so I'll probably sit them this week if I can afford to, because I think it's going to be a tough game for Baltimore offensively. I think they will be around that 24 to 30 point range, which is what this is suggesting at 26 and a half. I expect Kansas City to score over 30 points in this one. Baltimore has been giving up a ton of yardage, and that just, when Mahomes gets an easy matchup, that is when he can shine. Worthy is back for KC this week. They wouldn't be hustling him back unless he was ready. Hollywood Brown will be a good counterpoint to him. Tyquan Thornton will probably get some deep chances against this Baltimore team that, remember, they gave up over 40 against Baltimore or Buffalo in week 1. So I look for a high scoring game here, and I look for Kansas City to do well. The only thing I'm hesitant about Pacheco is I think there'll be a volume split between Pacheco and Hunt, which will make both of them tough to start. But Mahomes in the starting lineup, Worthy, Hollywood Brown, Kelsey. I'm moving some Tyquan Thornton into some teams where I'm looking for that extra flex guy because he'll get some opportunities.
If I don't have Godwin, if I've got Godwin and Thornton, I'm playing Godwin.
Oh, I'm playing Godwin over Hollywood Brown and probably over Worthy in this one.
Wow.
But
okay.
I think there will be a lot of volume for the wide receivers, and somebody, actually probably two of those guys that I mentioned, will score a touchdown in this one. So there'll be a lot of points to be scored. It's just not certain which one of the wide receivers is the better bet versus Tampa Bay, where I think it's all Godwin and Agbuka this week. Let's go to the huskiest of the Husky games, but it's not that enticing, only 49.5.
And I don't know if the line has changed. I'm assuming the Rams are still favored by 4 points spread. So 28-20, 49.5. So there's Vegas likes the firepower. Part of that is the defenses are kind of weak on passing. They let it all fly. Indianapolis away. Jonathan Taylor's going to earn his biscuits probably from the check down passing. I'm not sure he'll go off like he did last week, but I'm not setting him. I'm not worried because you always play your studs, but the DAPS would put a little damper on any kind of props for 2 touchdowns or anything wacky this week. It looks like easy wide receivers, the quarterback and the tight end. And you could stream the D, Indianapolis D, if you gotta. Rams, I'm not really scared of anything. I love that tight end there. I don't even know who the tight end is.
That's the problem. They're not sure either, because
I'm not sure Higbee,
Allen or Higbee.
Yeah, I'm not sure there's anybody take advantage of that, but that plum is sitting out there. And Indy's is Warren. So there you go. There's your maybe Schultz Warren prop or something there. I don't know. Maybe a Kelsey Warren or something. I don't know. Looks like some opportunities in the tight end here. I would not play the kicker or the defense for the Rams. So it looks like Rams at home. Looks like they're going to be doing some serious passing. And the rushing, Kerwin Williams, I'm not scared of him. And I think that's why Vegas is thinking with Puka, I got Puka 123, Dennis.
Wow.
Out of 100 this week. Yeah, he's off the charts. Adams at 80. So it looks like play them both all day long. And Williams is a good RB2. Maybe a 1 this week, but an RB2 type. But it's high uncertainty because you never know what you're going to get. But I think Vegas is not turning away from this tandem and having a nice RB. And Indianapolis, there's Taylor, but Pittman and that there's the weakness right there. Vegas is thinking, yeah, Taylor's going to get us something. Daniel Jones has been pretty hot, but they need another alpha here. Pittman has not been the alpha. If they had an alpha, but we got a couple betas here, Dennis. Maybe even a beta light and downs here. Pierce, I think, is out. I don't
Pierce is
know.
out.
Yeah.
Pierce is out.
So
Yep.
that's how it looks to me. What say you?
I like the Rams in this one to win this game. The line has not changed. I like the under though. I do not think this is going to be as high scoring. Yes, you're playing your Rams. You know they're going to get in the end
Play them
zone.
both
Yeah, I'm playing
if you've
both the
got
wide
both.
receivers. I'm playing Kyron Williams in there. I'd even spot start Stafford here, but I don't expect it to be a high scoring game. I would expect to see the Rams closer to 21, 24 points, and I would expect to see Indianapolis offense come back to earth. I don't believe that Daniel Jones, who has been playing like almost like Lamar Jackson, I don't think that is going to continue. But I would have also not believed that Indianapolis would be the last team to have to punt, and that after 3 games, their punter only has one time that he's been used. That's been incredible efficiency for that Indianapolis offense compared to what we expected them to be. But when it comes to scaled efficiency, their numbers are pretty average. So that is why I like the under in this one, and I like the Rams at home.
Nice, nice. Well, I think we did another matchup, didn't we?
Yes, we did. So head on over to the scienceoffantasyfootball.com. Check out our other podcast, The Science of Fantasy Football, and all the articles, all the data that you need. Of course, you can get a lot of that here at the Sports Affiliation as well. And while you're at it, like and subscribe to the YouTube channel for the Sports Affiliation. And come on back here for another edition next week of the Matchup Lab.
Get to work, folks.